guys, this is Nikki from the design team, and today we're going to look at a fun birthday card. I'm going to be using these three products, starting with this stitched balloon cover plate. This is a background, but it also has three balloons that you can use separately, or you can use to fill in your balloons up here. Make sure if you haven't done it yet that you hit the subscribe button on Cat Scrappiness's channel so you will see all these fun videos. With this balloon die, I really love those extra balloons that are given to you because it can make an extra layer on your card, and I love dimension, so I always love it when I can have that extra bit. Everything that I use will be listed in the description below. I'm also going to use the new Make-A-Wish sentiment with its shadow, and these adorable mixed candy sprinkles. I love these, and they're going to look so cute with these colors I picked. I feel like these sprinkles look so good with these Catherine Pooler inks. I got these for Christmas, and I've been dying to use them, so I'm going to make my balloons in these colors. I went on and cut the balloons out, and as you notice, I've got the balloons in an order, and the reason is because they are not all the same size, and when you're making them to put on your cover plate, you need to make sure that if you're wanting to create a specific order that you've got it laid out. So I've got the specific shapes laid out. I'm going to make my colors of my balloons in the rainbow with these Catherine Pooler inks. So I'm laying down a layer of ink, and I'm going to make swatches of each one of these, and mainly so that I can cut my balloons out of them. The nice thing about these are they are very, I guess, spongy and liquidy, so they put down a whole lot of ink, which is kind of nice. So I can really make a very even color there that can just be like having cardstock colors. Then we are going to add an extra detail to this. We are going to actually emboss over these colors with a glittery embossing powder. Now, these inks were probably wet enough to go ahead and add the embossing powder, but I wanted to go ahead and do a line of all of the different colors, then add my embossing. So I'm going back with my Versamark pad, and I'm putting that on top of these colors, and that is going to help me get some wetness back to it, so that I can get the powder to stick. So the powder that I'm using today is a Catherine Pooler Wow powder called Halo, and it's just kind of an iridescent glitter. You could use any type of glittery, iridescent, or a clear to do this. I just thought I would try this technique out. I've seen this a lot lately, and I have never tried it, so that's what I'm doing today. So we'll get this on here, and then we'll get everything heat embossed and show you what it looks like. When you're heat embossing glitter, you want to get the back of the paper hot, because if you start blowing on the front of the paper, you're going to blow off all of your glitter. Granted, even doing it from the back, I still blew off some of the glitter, and this is definitely a mess in your craft room. But it gives such great results, it is worth it. So definitely remember that when you're doing glitter, you don't want to lose all your glitter pieces. So start from the back, get it good and hot where it's sitting and not blowing off, and then you go and heat emboss it like this. And I just love how these look. So now I've got all of my, remember how I had all my balloons laid out so that I could make sure? I'm just double checking those, and you only have 3 dies of the balloons, so you'll need to do this a couple times, but you need to make sure you get the right color where you want it to be. So I'm just checking that out and lining it up and doing 3 at a time. And so right here, you're going to see, once I cut them out, I flip them over, and I'm going to hang on to that extra little cutout. I don't know what you want to call that, like kind of where it would shine, I guess you'd say. I'm going to hang on to that because I don't think I want to put any other colors on my balloons, and I want them to stay solid. So I'm just using a little piece of this double-sided adhesive to make sure I keep that little cutout. Okay, so I've got the cover plate cut out of white paper now. I'm pushing out every little place. You can make your shaker card where the shaker pieces don't go up into that top corner, but I'm going to keep mine solid. The other thing about this is that I cut it out of white paper, and since I did that, the strings of my balloons are going to be white. So what I decided to do was to use a Copic marker and color those strings a really dark black. When you're coloring something like this that has a white core and it's going to be hanging down on your card, it's always good to make sure you get the edges so that you're not seeing that white behind it. I just like the way I'm sure some people do that and they like that look, but I really like it to look like it's solid. So I go along each edge and I colored all of these. So I'm going to skip ahead to the next step. I'm going to take all of those glittery balloons that we cut out and I'm going to put them in order. Some of these, because they overlap, are going to need to have some foam tape on the back to look really cool. So I usually try to figure out which ones are going to stick up and which ones are going to stay all the way flat, and just adjust that with gluing some and sticking up some. So as it overlaps, it probably needs a little bit of foam tape. I tried it without foam tape right here and realized, ooh, I think I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape. I'm super picky about how these lay on the card. I always want to make sure I've got it perfectly aligned with these balloons because I don't want to see that white part. So you see me kind of adjusting and making sure you can't see it. And then we'll just add some foam tape to some other ones, glue down other things on this card, and move right on ahead to the sentiment. So I decided this time with this window that I would do it with vellum. I've seen a lot of cute cards, especially if you got a really bright shaker element. It's kind of cool to have it come through a vellum where it just gives it a little cloudier look. So I am adding tape, and then I'm going to add my piece of vellum, and then we'll need to add foam tape all around it for our shaker window. Sped this next part up just a little bit because I love playing with sprinkles, so I was sitting here messing with these for a little while. So I used some clear sprinkles, I used our mixed candy sprinkles, and I love using tons on a full card panel like this because it just really makes it look awesome when that's in there. So here's what it looks like once we've taped it down. Make sure it's good and sealed. It is so cute. I just love that color coming through. It's not super obvious, but it looks really nice in that background. So I'm really loving this vellum. Now I'm just going to trim up the card if there's any parts of the back of the base showing past my stitched cover plate. So I'm going to trim that up, and then we're going to make our sentiment. So I used the Make-A-Wish sentiment, which it actually, the little letters and stuff cut apart, but it has this cool shadow die that helps you put everything back together. I did a couple of layers of a white cardstock to give this a little bit of a bulk, and then I took a silver cardstock, a silver glitter cardstock, and I'm putting that on the front. So you could, you know, like we did earlier, if you were into embossing, you could go ahead and just emboss some white and make a glittery looking cardstock. But this one I just had a little bit of, and I thought I would just go ahead and use the silver. So here's what that looks like. It looks so cute. And now I want to show you how well this sentiment fits on the balloon cover plate. I'm sure that Kat did this on purpose and it looks beautiful. So it fits perfectly right there below those balloons. Looks really cute. I'm going to get it glued down and I'll show you some final pictures of the project. Remember that everything that I use will be listed in the description below, and you can also find me on my channels there as well as Kat's other channels. Here's those final projects. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and I hope to see you again soon on the channel. Have a great day. Bye.